Well, hello. I'm a dismissive avoidant. And if I were to openly and honestly communicate with you about how the relationship is going to go, this is what I'd tell you. First, I am going to love bomb you. I am going to take all these bottled up emotions that I have suppressed throughout my entire life and let them flow right out onto you. See, early in the relationship, my fears haven't been triggered. There's no actual emotional intimacy. There's no threat of it. There's no real commitment. So I'm going to take all these suppressed emotions and just let them flow out onto you. You are going to feel seen, wanted, validated, and desired like you never have before. There's going to be a chemistry and a connection that is out of this world, off the charts. We're going to talk about our future together. I'm going to tell you about the house I want to buy with you, maybe even the pets that we're going to have, or possibly even future children. I'm going to tell you things like, nobody has ever made me feel this way. That you are someone special that I've been waiting for my whole life. And things are going to go along wonderfully for at least the first handful of months. We're going to spend time together. We're going to communicate a lot. We're going to laugh. We're going to even possibly take a vacation together. But then, somewhere between 3 to 8 months, something is going to trigger my fears. Something will happen that'll indicate to me that this isn't just a fantasy. It's a real relationship with real emotional vulnerability and real commitment. And I am going to feel anxiety through my veins. My fears are triggered and I start to deactivate. Now, because I don't really self-reflect and I don't realize that these are issues within me, I look at you as the problem. I will look for faults in you that prove to me that we're fundamentally incompatible, that things are just not going to work between the two of us, that it clearly is not my fault that I feel this way, but I'm not going to tell you. And I'm going to continue to act like everything is going wonderfully. We might even meet each other's families. My family's going to love you, and your family's going to love me. We might even go so far as to go ring shopping together, talk about weddings. But my fears are going to reach a breaking point. And when they do, that's it. I am shutting down. I'm going stone cold. I am deactivating. I am going to take those feelings that I have for you. I'm going to suppress them. I'm going to bury them. I am not going to even allow myself to access those feelings, and I'm definitely not going to reflect on them. I'm going to have a really hard time articulating those feelings to you because I'm trying not to think about them. I'm trying not to reflect on them. So I'm going to give you very vague excuses out of nowhere as to why the relationship needs to end. I might blame work. I might say that I'm just too busy with work. Or I might just say I've lost the spark. The chemistry just isn't there anymore, that I've just lost feelings. And I'll just tell you, I can't give you what you need. And that's it. Abruptly over, abruptly blindsided. I'm not going to show you much in the way of empathy because I'm going to be so hyper-focused on myself and my own perceived feelings that I'm not really going to allow myself to access that empathy for you, at least not in that moment. You're going to be devastated. You are going to be shell-shocked, but I'll be feeling a sense of relief. Whew, no more pressure on me. I don't need to be vulnerable anymore. I don't have to give anything of myself anymore. Whew, I can go back to being single because I've been fantasizing about being single now for a little bit because being intimate and having to give something of myself in a relationship is awfully scary. You might beg and plead a little bit and I'll just shut down even further and perhaps even ghost you. But then you're going to go into no contact. Time's going to go by and I'm going to be blissfully enjoying the single life. And I'll be distracting myself with various different things so I don't have to self-reflect or face any of the painful emotions of the breakup. And I really don't want to have to take accountability for how I hurt you. So I'm going to avoid it. I'm going to distract myself. But eventually, I'm going to get curious as to why you're not contacting me. You're supposed to be chasing me. What gives? Well, now I realize I might have lost you. So then I start to unbury those feelings. I start to allow myself to access those feelings for you that I tried to suppress. Because I was afraid I might feel too deeply for you and then you were going to abandon me. I can't have that. Safer to abandon you first. But now I'm regretting my decision, or I'm at least regretting getting all that validation from you, because that validation was great. Well, then I'm going to reach out. I'm going to breadcrumb you. I'm going to send you how you doing text, or maybe I'll just watch your stories and hopefully you'll take the bait. And if you do, I feel validated. I know you're still an available option, and then I can disappear again. But maybe I'll actually regret it to the point where I really want to give this another shot. And then we do. And oh boy, that validation's making me feel good, that dopamine, woo. I love bomb you again. But then intimacy is going to grow. There's going to be a disagreement, some sort of expectation on me. Something's going to make it feel real again. And poof, off I go. And then I'm going to say to myself, well, this must have just been the wrong person. Because if I meet the right person, I won't feel this way and I won't feel the need to run. Then I'm going to go through more people, ending relationships every 3 to 6, 8 months until I meet somebody who's emotionally unavailable as well. And this person won't trigger my fears. And then we'll have a long-term relationship filled with emotional neglect because they're walled off, I'm walled off, there's no threat of intimacy. But eventually that's going to be unfulfilling. So I'm going to end that relationship and try to find something more fulfilling. But when I do, it's going to trigger my fears, and then I'm going to push that person away and just tell myself I can never find the right person, or maybe I'm just not ready for a relationship, or I'm not relationship material. I'm better off just staying single.